So, man, if I had to pick one, obviously T1, I mean, they beat us. I would say Edward had a really good game plan versus us. And then regionally, I'll go with
Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview, this time covering VCT Americas Stage 1 for Week 4. My guest at this time is valyn, the IG of G2 Esports, coming off of their match against Leviatan, in which they came out on the winning end 2-1 to continue their march in said regular season. And so, valyn, thank you so much for the opportunity once again, this time, as I said, coming off of that match. Obviously, it was probably the most difficult match that G2 has faced so far in this season, I would say. But
yeah.
what's going through your mind?
My mind. I'm grateful to close that one because it was so close, like start to finish. I mean, even when we were up 10-2 on Haven, I knew like attack Haven sometimes is hard versus the comp they're running. And so, some rounds didn't go our way that I feel like always should. Like there was a C post plant on the anti bonus that we lost, and from there I felt like the air got a little tight. And so whenever the air gets a little tight, the game gets harder. You kind of have to focus on doing the right calls, but also keeping the team sane or like calm. So yeah, it was difficult. And as soon as Trent clutched that, it was like the biggest sigh of relief out of my shoulders. But they played great, and we needed a test game like that. It's always nice to kind of get those reality checks, I call them.
Yeah, because like Leviatan was coming into this matchup with like I would say kind of shaky form, but still a team like that was like a work in progress given the constant changes that's been happening within their ranks so far in this year. And also with that in mind, I would assume that you guys had like your own thoughts as to what kind of recipes Leviatan was going to cook up for this match. Obviously, we saw that happen first thing on Lotus with basically being the most closest affair in that map so for this team so far in this season. So I mean, talk to me about much more in depth as to what exactly Leviatan did that made it even much more harder, besides just like them having a good day onto like the aiming aspect.
I think it's a combination of their composition. And I mean, they left Lotus open. So the veto was definitely in their favor today. Like, if you think about it, they know that we're going to pick Lotus because they leave it open. And so they were probably practicing all week, studying all of our footage. But we still have high confidence on the map. I mean, we're like 8-0 now or 9-0. So we're going to take that every day. 9-0. So we're still going to take that every day. But we were talking about in the practice room, like, we don't know what's going to happen, guys. They are very prepped for this map, leaving it open. And yeah, I just think it was just a hard game plan to dissect because they had a lot of layers. Like they had good step twos of what, like they definitely planned out like, okay, we're going to start like this. Once they adapt, we're going to move into this setup. And so it was like, we were just playing, like find the clues, like what are they running every round and that was like one of the best live performances. How do I word this? Like when you have to dissect the team and really understand what they're doing instead of having like a good game plan or an understanding already, because they haven't played Lotus. They showed a new comp. They studied all of our VODs. So that was just a great like team win in the sense of just, we got to use our IQ here, boys. And we did.
I mean, out of curiosity, you kind of describe the state of the game on that map in that way. What do you think was the biggest clue that you kind of deciphered within that time frame?
It really just came down to their A fight, but even then they were masking it, meaning like they'll show it and go into something else. So we even have to go deeper than that. And it was their like C controller, who's playing C, I think was like the biggest two for me. Like, is it Vi C? Is it their proactive player C? Like, what's happening across the map? Because they were good at masking it. I mean, they're running double controller, the same stuff we run, but they're just playing Neon. And so I would say that's the strongest composition. People are trying to play it, and it's because they have so much like fog of war. We don't know what we're going into a lot of the rounds. Sometimes, and in this meta, if you don't know what you're going into, you literally just lose. Mm-hmm. So I would say some of the rounds just came down to that. But we're the better Lotus team, so we closed it.
Yeah, and I would say the same kind of story transpired in the ensuing match. So then, at the very end, you guys were able to kind of run away with it. Well, technically speaking, but yeah, like just kind of moving on from like map 2 to map 3, or maybe even like map 1, map 2 to map 3. How did you view the sort of progression of the series from your point of view, and having to like go from like deciphering step by step Levitan's game plan in Lotus to then having to like deal with the difficulty of playing in Fracture.
Yeah.
We've said like adaptations in mind, and also trying to close it home in Haven.
Yeah, definitely. So I explained map 1. Map 2 was like, I mean, Fracture is just one of those maps that is just so chaotic, and it's a lot of like grimy duels. Like you got to get in the mud to play Fracture. Is literally how I would describe it, man. Like a lot of site holds, a lot of floods. There's no time to like set up. Really, you got to just be like shooting ideas. Go, go, go. And I would say we were a bit slow on that. They were faster than us, but also I don't think we were prepared in terms of like understanding those niches. Like we have really good understanding of the game, but map like Fracture is a whole different skill set, and I think we were missing that today, which we're going to VOD review and get better at. So we kind of just accepted that loss. Like, yeah, they were better than us. They were more prepped on Fracture than us. Happens. Let's go to our domain on Haven. And if we let this slip, that's on us. Mm-hmm. Lose pistol round, things are going to be shaky, right? And then blow out on a 10-2 half. I wish it was more simple and we just won a pistol on Haven, but we couldn't. And then we lost bonus. So, like, the air got a little tight, like I said. But we had some really clean rounds still in Haven. And so I felt like we were in control, but it was still a high pressure game, you know, closing out those halves. Like we have flashbacks of like Sen when we were up like 9-3 or 10-2 and almost losing there in the grand final, map 5. Like Haven sometimes is scary, but hey, we prevailed and we're only going to get better.
Yeah, for sure. Having to look at what went wrong in that map and then build on from that.
Yeah.
And obviously, like a kind of, as I alluded to earlier on in the conversation regarding like the difficulty of this kind of match in relation to all the other matches that you guys have played in so far in VCT Americas, or maybe you could include Masters Bangkok if you want, but still, like I'm kind of curious on asking you about the current state of the team and having to like deal with the many challenges that all the other opponents have been throwing to you guys, given that you guys are like in essence, I would say, in pole position for the VCT Americas title. What I'm trying to get at here is, what do you feel has been the biggest challenge that this team has been kind of constantly facing throughout this entire year, like stage 1 or maybe even kickoff it in Masters?
The team to beat, like right now we're the team to beat. Everyone comes in with the best practice week of their team. They come in with the best prep. They want to beat G2. They want to be known to be the team to beat G2. The bad news for them is that we're aware of that, and we come in with the same force. We use that as motivation for us of, hey, guys, they're coming, and we don't care what team it is. I've been saying it since the beginning. I knew MIBR was going to be one of the hardest games for us. I knew Lev was going to be one of the hardest games. These guys are in do or die situations, and they're playing against the best team. And all humbly, like that's just how things go when you're number one of your region. Now, like I said, I think that we have very strong mentalities on this team. We have winner mindset instilled in this team, and we use that to our advantage to even push us. Like, guys, if we take this week easy, we're gonna go lose. Do you want to lose? No. Let's lock in now. And I would say that's been kind of the remedy to this problem. Every team faces it. There's a saying, right? Like it's easy to get to the top. It's hard to stay. But we're trying to find ways to stay because there's no better feeling than winning.
I mean, out of curiosity, I gotta ask, which team has been the biggest like challenge for you? Like, obviously, you might look at T1 and Masters Bangkok, but like, is there any other team that kind of like throws a major wrench to what you guys normally plan on in a match?
Yeah, I mean, dude, to be honest, like ever since we came back to Americas, every game has been really hard. Like besides NRG, sorry, NRG, but that's just the truth. Like Furia started off 8-0 versus us. Like all these teams, man, they're getting better. They're watching other people play the meta and getting better at the meta. So before and kickoff, we looked like the kings because we were just ahead of the meta. We knew exactly how this game was going. Right? And that's credit to the coaching staff. Now everyone's understanding it, watching us, either copying us, whatever. And now it's like, dude, how do we beat teams when they're abusing the same thing we're abusing? And it's difficult. It's a lot. This game is hard right now when everyone understands it as the year develops. So man, if I had to pick one, obviously T1. I mean, they beat us. I would say Edward had a really good game plan versus us, and then regionally, I'll go with MIBR for the hardest regional match we've had so far.
No, yeah, and like it's such that maybe you guys will face again sometime in the playoffs. Maybe sooner, maybe later, who knows? But I mean, it kind of feels like the trajectories are colliding once again. But it's in the future. We'll still stick on to the present for now. And so one more match in regular season, Cloud9. Final thoughts, final view towards your final opponent of the regular season.
I'm sure it's going to be a spot for the number one seed. So, I mean, we're coming full force to get that playoff bye. So, Cloud9's a good team. I've said it in every interview. They're a scary team. You go in, you don't know what you're going to get. Is it going to be Zeppa dropping 30 with Oxy, or is it going to be, the Cloud9 we played in kickoff? Not sure. So you always got to put respect on that opponent. So I think my team knows that. We have the same mentality, and going into that game, I think we're going to be even better than this week, because whenever we win by close margins, we study it. And we're like, why did we win so close? Why couldn't we have dominated them? And we're going to get better. And so I hope they're doing the same, because we're coming.
Yeah, the only occasion in which you guys were coming off of a loss, and then you had to face the same team later on was Edward Gaming, as you said earlier on. 2-1 loss, and then 2-0 much more dominant fashion in Bangkok. So it goes to show where you guys are at right now. And so, Valyn, thank you so much for the opportunity for the interview. Once again, we really appreciate the answers as always. And of course, best of luck goes for you next week and also the road ahead.
Thank you, Pedro.